Hi, this is a new series of orchestral excerpts. I had the great pleasure of playing under John Williams conducting when he was conducting the Pops in Boston. And that was at the time when Tim Morrison was in the orchestra. So I got to be a part of some of the most beautiful and impressive trumpet music ever written. And I'm going to play some of it for you in this series. I'd like to start with Born on the 4th of July. And the reason is this solo is lyrical, as many of John Williams' trumpet solos are. And it's very mournful, you might say. Oh, but I'm giving it away. I should let the music really speak for itself. So this is the theme from Born on the 4th of July. So that's how the piece opens. And I'll be making some observations, suggestions for you if you want to play this music. But first, I should show you the book. This is published by John Williams' publisher, Hal Leonard. And it's part of the Signature series. And I'll just mention quickly that this is the latest edition that you can get and play from. I could also be playing off the Pops parts, but the original Pops parts are a little bit different than these. There are some slight changes in the editions, and that's normal over the period of time that these have been in circulation. But in any case, this is something that you can purchase and play if you have the physical capability to do so. And that's a big challenge with a lot of John's music, not only for the trumpets, but for all the instruments in the orchestra, and that's part of what makes it so exciting. I'm going to play the tune from the middle of the piece, and this is a little bit more like a memory of a better time. One thing that I love about music, and I'm sure probably most of you would agree, is it's a way of communicating without words. And there's a lot of deep emotion in this music. It means a lot to me. I grew up during I was eligible, we might say, for the draft during the Vietnam War. And I won't go into the details, but I have very strong memories of that period of time. And that's the kind of the theme of this movie. So I'm going to play the ending now, and here we have something that's a little bit unusual in the trumpet literature. You have a trumpet cadenza in the middle of an orchestra piece. And thank you, John, for writing so well for the trumpet and giving us this very expressive and beautiful music to play. I'm going to try and do it justice. It starts with the theme from the beginning and then heads into the cadenza. communicating without words. Wow. It means a lot to me. This seems very, it's a lament. It's a pain. It is crying. It is loss. It is grief. And we don't like to feel those things in life. We want to be happy. We want to aim at the positive. But having lived through that time, I tasted a little bit of that. And I know that some of you have too. So I hope this music helps you to relive that. And it's healthy to do so. We should reflect on the fact that, as it's been said, while you are in the world, you will have trouble. But the Lord says, cheer up, I have overcome the world. So that's the hope that springs. And a lot of John's music is very, very hopeful. Not only exciting, but very hopeful. This and Schindler's List have that lament. Beautiful music. So what are you going to run into as a trumpet player playing this? Well, I think it's pretty self-evident. You have to play over a fairly large range. So if you look at just the cadenza, the beginning of the cadenza is a good exercise to play. And as I often do, I would take a piece of music like this and transform it into a drill by taking a short section and playing it at all keys, playing at different dynamic levels, playing it with different articulation, playing it in different styles, playing it at different dynamic levels, just to name a few. These are the basics. So I'm going to go ahead and play the cadenza line again, and I'm going to try and do it well, and then I'll point out what I think you should listen to when you're playing this. So I'm thinking too much about playing the trumpet now. I'm not in the musical, the place of musical intention. I need to be kind of feeding off my internal sense of how the music should move. And I'm thinking a little bit about technique. That's because I was going to talk to you about technique, but let me see if I can play it well first. Now, I wouldn't play it that soft in the orchestra. It's a solo in a large hall, but I'm always playing with what can I do with the dynamics, through the whole range of dynamics. An easy way to think of it is, in this case, I think you'd call it dolce. So it's a sweet, clear, round sound. And that actually on the C trumpet is a little bit more difficult to do than on the B flat. I almost grabbed my B flat today and played this on B flat because I like it a little bit better on B flat. Even though it's, some people would think that makes it more difficult, and as an orchestral player, I'm accustomed to playing the C. But I like the sound of it a little bit better on the B flat. It has a larger, warmer sound on most B flat horns. So how do you practice this? Well, just listen to the sound in the room. In any room, no matter how live or dead, how small or how large the room is, you're going to get some sound reflected back to you. And that's telling you some of the information about what's coming out of your horn. And as you listen, the first thing to do is just try and keep it even. So can I keep the sound quality the same, or is there strain as I'm going through? That's up to you to listen for. And if you have a good teacher, a good coach, that person can certainly help you to learn how to listen by doing it. But if you have really highly developed ears already, it's a tremendously powerful tool for kind of guiding your body to do the right thing. I like to call it the tone of voice. So this is your voice, and it's the quality of the sound and what that communicates. But the mechanics of it are, can you simply play it evenly? Does the sound change quality? Does it change quantity as you go up and down? So if that's hard to do, you need to practice that type of thing. Then there's the range itself, which is quite obvious. So you need to be comfortable playing in that range. But again, I'm going to go back to the music. I find it very helpful to think in larger groupings, larger phrases. When I think the phrase, in other words, when I'm envisioning, I'm hearing where it's going, then my body generally does the right thing. And I notice a lot of players, a lot of my students get stuck on what they're doing right now, trying to manage it. And we need to kind of let go and let the music flow. And it feels a little risky to do that because we're used to always controlling what we do on the trumpet. So when you break something down and play it in small chunks like this, it can be it gives you room to play, room to experiment, room to get enough repetitions so that you're starting to feel satisfaction in the quality of your sound. And the quality of the sound is, I think, one of the main reasons why John wrote this music for the trumpet. There's an undeniable special quality about the trumpet sound. So I hope some of that comes across to you, and I'll be doing more of these in the future. Some of them a lot more, shall we say, exciting and physically challenging on the trumpet. So if you're up for it, please join me when you have a little time. Have a great day. Enjoy your practice. I'll see you later on. Bye-bye.